Alright, welcome again to what I can only hope are good choices. Let's continue on with the LPIC series. Very nearly to the end of this. Then I can take that exam and let everyone know whether I passed it or not. So we're on lesson 2 actually. This is exciting. So we're on lesson 2 of 103.4. After that, it looks like there's just a one lesson section after that, and now I'm in the final section where I can think about actually scheduling the exam. And it's a two-part exam, kind of like the original CCNA was. So I've got to pass the second part to get the full certification. But this will be a good kind of litmus test to see if this strategy is going to be enough. And if it is, oh man, that's exciting because if we go to all resources for the learning materials, we've got a LPIC-1 uh sorry we've got resources for days, as far as I know. Um, so, oh, do we? I thought we did. This is in a different language. Let's go to LPI.org. There we go. And now let's go to certifications. Okay, and now let's look at some of these other ones. So this would be a big one, the security one. This would be a big one, the DevOps tools engineer. Really, any of these would be good. Mixed environments, virtualization. I've had a conversation with the AI, and I'm using ChatGPT, which is kind of out of date. It's 2021, now it's 2023. But I'm just going to be choosing whichever one is best suited for remote work jobs. That's the one I'm going to go for. That's kind of my bellwether forward for the rest of my career. Whatever skill set is best for working remote is the skill set I will choose. So now we've got a little bit of a problem here. Um, it looks like the training materials for um, the training materials are only free and open source for the LPIC-1. That's kind of a little bit of a problem. Um, yeah, and we can see that here. We can see that the LPIC-1, Exam 101 and 102 are part of the learning materials. Um, yeah, but oh, that's too bad. But we don't have any of the LPIC 2 or 3. That's too bad. But as I said, I think what matters for me in this career, in my career now, is depth. Sorry, it's breadth over depth. Just the more you veer off in one direction, the more dependent you are on that one direction having gold at the end. So especially with how like bizarre the industry has been, it's like I just want to cast a wide net. Okay, so that's too bad. It looks like we don't really have. It looks like we do have like a book here but it's available for purchase. Um, Not that expensive. I should get a Kindle. That would make a lot of sense for me to get that. But anyways, that's kind of looking ahead a bit too far. Um, and the LPIC 2 would be what's next. So yeah, like here's the LPIC 2. I don't know why it's in like I don't know why it's by default in another language. Oh, here's one that looks like it's by default in English. So that's the one I would want. Um Oh, you know what? Here we go. So we've got a okay, this is good news. We got a free book for the LPIC 2. So yeah, that could be my I think that could be my next thing because we do have free learning materials. It's a 421 page book, which might take me a while to get through, but um, oh, and not only that, this is the learning materials as well. So we should be able to yeah, just click about this book, and then yeah, like this is exactly what we're doing here. You know, that's just the book in a different format, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so it's just this book is the same. So these are all the learning materials. Yeah, if we just take a random sentence. Okay, so yeah, it's still the same spirit where the learning is free. Love that. That's what I want my career to be out about. I want it to be about working from home primarily. That's the most important thing, and then I want it to be about being a part of the community. So I kind of want it to be decentralized in a way where if any one part, of this woven tapestry of my career says you have to do this, and there's no other option, and you're doing this now, I can be like, well, I have a whole quilt of woven experiences, and maybe I can just kind of focus on, I want my life to be a network. We all learn about like the best principles of network design, redundancy, having layered approach, and it's like that kind of makes sense. Okay, so this is really encouraging to me. I can actually go for the LPIC 2, and everything is free, and it looks like this is the publisher is Sue BV. Let's see if there's any more resources by Sue BV. All right, I don't see anything there. And the other thing is this is an official publishing partner, which is awesome. So it looks like there's 18 official publishing partners. So there's one for the um, now some of these aren't English language. So I wish I could narrow it down to English language resources. So these are for the Linux Essentials. I'm skipping that over because I figure I'm good enough in Linux just with my professional experience and with my associate's degree and with working on networking devices that are based on Linux, that what I need is a professional cert. Um, so, oh, we can do a now this is available for purchase, but the other one was available for purchase as well. Okay, so this is the LPIC 101 and LO2 102. These probably would have been good too, but these are probably, I'm not sure what these are. We're not going through that. Um, this is the LPIC 1. I wonder if these are, no, these are just straight up sold on Amazon. I think if it says available for purchase, then that means that you can't just yeah. See, it'll say available for free down here. So that's what we want to search for. It looks like we've got 12 resources. So the DevOps tools engineer, that would be a great one to go for as well. And this is what I mean, where like I want this large quilt of like woven tapestry of like all these things that I'm aware of, and then I can focus on which of those things uh, makes sense, instead of just, oh, this thing says this, so I do that. I don't want my career to look like that. I want it to be like, this thing says that, so one of the options I have is to do that. But here's a set of 100 to 1,000 other options that I can go with if I so choose. I can do the option that makes the most sense and not just the option that I'm forced to do, whether or not it makes sense to me. So yeah, this looks like a great mentor for me too. He's got all of the certifications that I think are valuable today. He's got 5 years of experience across AWS and Azure. It's always frustrating to see that because it's like, what does that mean? Like, does he have 30 years of experience in IT and just 5 of them are across AWS and Azure, or did he literally just get a basic entry level cert and work for 5 years and like, because I've been doing it for 8 years and I feel like a lot of my choices weren't really that great. So like this is an example of somebody who made better choices, who got into cloud and as such has a better, more thriving network or markets to work in. So yeah, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. So I think that might come next. The LPIC-2 is also available for free. The English language. Yeah, essentials. I'm not going to do that. I would be going backwards. So I want to just keep going forwards all the time. So yeah, that'd be going backwards to get that one. Web development, maybe that might be interesting. There's the LPIC 101 and the 102. But yeah, this is the big one here. And then so these two really make sense to go next. But that's looking forward into the future, probably a bit too far. We really just want to take it one step at a time here and focus. We do have the mixed environments book here. I think once we're at that level, it does make sense to invest some money, especially since if it's a lucrative career field, we'll probably have some money to invest, and then we can see if it's worth going further down into that. So yeah. Okay, this is really exciting. Let me go ahead and yeah. So I'm gonna say LPIC-1. Let me see here. Let me make some new folders. So add a folder. We're gonna say and this is the LPI DevOps Tools Engineer. And yes, I realize I'm way off topic again, which is bad. I'll save it under certifications. All right, and then I also want it for the LPIC-2. Yeah, so this is the one by Gilbert. Now I want one by SuBV. Okay. Oh, and I'm gonna create a new. Remove that, and then create a new certification. Add folder, and that would be the LPIC-2. Okay, so now we've got some good updates on their technical development. We've got LPIC-1, which should go very at the top because I'm actively working on that right now. Then afterwards, I'm not sure. There's a lot of different directions to go. I feel like the DevOps makes a lot of sense. I also feel like the LPIC-2 makes a lot of sense. I think some of the like Azure, I think there's some free ones that are like you can get some free, maybe like Associate or something like that, um, of one of these big cloud platforms. Um, then there's just all kinds of places to go. The Encore, I actually, I wonder if I accidentally missed my appointment for that. It's probably like next week. But that's we're talking about enterprise networking for you know one of the many companies out there. We're not talking about a cohesive entity of you know we're not talking about like open source. All right, so let me pause it and see when that Encore is. All right, I am taking the Encore exam in 2 weeks on Sunday, and we'll see how that goes. Probably not very well. But anyways, I was way off topic, so let's get back on topic, close all these tabs out, and then finish out this part of lesson 2. So, and I'll let me try to get back to where I was. Okay, so here we go. So combining grep and sed. The commands grep and sed can be used together when more complex text mining procedures are required. As a system administrator, you may want to inspect all the login attempts to a server, for example. The file /var/log/wtmp records all logins and logouts. I didn't know that. Whilst the file /var/log/btmp instead of w records the failed login attempts. They are written in a binary format, which can be read by the commands last and lastb, respectively. The output of lastb shows not only the username used in the bad login attempt, but its IP address as well. So here's the username, and then here's the IP address. We can see we've got DNS resolving on it. You could probably do like a dash something to not see the DNS resolution if you really want to. I'm curious enough to see, let me see this in the lab. It looks like it doesn't give the plain text passwords. I hope it doesn't. So we got a permission denied, which makes sense. Do a sudo on that. Okay, and we've got nothing. So let's just do the last B without any options. Oh, you know what? So we had to start it, I think. So let's try exiting, going back, and then doing that command again. Okay, so still nothing. Not sure what the difference is there. So the option -D, so that's how you enable DNS, translates the IP number to the corresponding hostname, DNS. The hostname may provide clues about the ISP or hosting service used to perform these bad login attempts. Option -A puts the hostname in the last column, which facilitates the filtering yet to be applied. Option -time-format no time suppresses the time when the login attempt occurred. Option last B can take some time to finish if there were too many bad login attempts, so the output was limited to 10 entries with the option -N10. Not all remote IPs have a hostname associated to it, so reverse DNS does not apply to them and they can be dismissed. Although you could write a regular expression to match the expected format for a hostname at the end of the line, It is probably simpler to write a regular expression to match with either a letter from the alphabet or with a single digit at the end of the line. The following example shows how the command grep takes the listing at its standard input and removes the lines without host names. So so grep converts the standard output in the command to standard input and then feeds it to the command to the right. So the standard output of this is going to be DNS. It's going to be DNS resolved, and then it's going to be -A, which means the host name is going to appear in the last column, and then it's going to have a time format where it's going to suppress the time when the login attempt occurred. I don't know why you would want that. Maybe to make it easier to parse or something. But so that's what gets fed into grep, and then anything that doesn't match, this is one atom here. Well, arguably, I guess it could be two atoms. So the first atom is any number 0 through 9, and then the second atom is the end of the line. So if it doesn't have that match, so we see none of these do, then we'll take the standard output of that, convert it to standard input, and feed it into this command head here, which shows the first 10 lines. So the following example shows grep taking the listing at its standard input and removes the lines without host names. So command grep option-v shows only the lines that don't match with the given regular expression. A regular expression matching any line ending with a number. There we go. And we got that through this character here. It means ending with. Will capture only the entries without a host name. So without a host name, that's interesting. Yeah. Therefore, yeah. So what we're doing without this match v is we can see the logic of what we're trying to do. We're trying to match something that ends with a number. So instead of being a T, it would be a number 0 through 10. So that could be an IP address. It could be .254, that would end in a 4, .19 would end in a 9, .20 would end in a 0. So these are IP host addresses that we're trying to match for, and then we want to do a -v, so we match for the actual resolved host names and not the IP addresses. So therefore, grep-v will show only the lines ending with a host name, because it will show the opposite of lines ending with a digit, which is how IPs end. You could have some false matches where the host name is like, for example, if this didn't have the dot, contaboserver.net, it would end in a 2 and it wouldn't show up. The output can be filtered even further by keeping only the domain name and removing the other parts from each line. Command SED can do it with a substitution command to replace the whole line with a back reference to the domain name in it. Okay, so we can do SED. Okay, and now we can just get the we can filter it even further by just getting the host names. So you do that with SED. And so SED, we're going to use this S command here, and then we're going to feed it the regular expression, and then we're gonna, SED. I do not like SED. I'll just say it. I don't like SED. I like Python. And Python, you can do this with Python. Like here, I'll show you. I'll prove it. I gotta go back. Okay, so let's just take exactly what we saw in the example. Okay, and actually this is not gonna, and it requires, but even if I give it a sudo, it's yeah, it's not gonna work. So let's do it with sorry, let's do it with example.txt. So cat example.txt. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll do a similar thing like this, but we'll match on the lines that end with e. So what we'll do is we'll do cat example.txt pipe grep, and then we want to match on the line that ends with e. So we'll do it like that. Wrap this in quotes. Okay, and then we'll do the annoying sed command. There we go. And now we can see we've got the just this part out, because I think it's matching on I don't know what. You see, that's the point. So instead, what we could do is we can do a Python, and I think it's -c, but we can do the help for Python. So we'll do Python -- help, and I believe it's -c. Yeah, there we go. So we can now pass in Python code right at the command line. So we can do like that. Then we can do Python -c. Okay, and now we can do now what is it? Oh, I think we got to do this. Xargs. And then string like str. We can do str dot split oops, and then we've got to close the quotes. Oh, isn't it like -I or something? I think you have to do a I thought it was. I thought it was this. I don't know. I must be getting this wrong. Do I need a $? No. How do I get I thought you could do it like this. I guess I'm proving myself wrong. I'm pretty sure it was -c, but I think you have to use xargs. Maybe it's like this, or it's dash. Oh, you know what? I think it has to be dash capital I. Okay, so now it's working more like I expected, but you can see we can see it's incorrect. It needs to be like this. Um, let me just try. Let me just try print str. Okay, there we go. So now we can see we're printing the lines of the file. So instead we can do str dot split oh, this is right. This is right. We have to print it out. There we go. So maybe it's not that much better, but see how we can use Python instead. So I guess pick your poison. Really, both are kind of probably not the best. But I don't know. I just like Python. I mean, you can see both of them are like as I said, pick your poison. You have to know to use xargs with it. But here's the difference. Let's just put them right next to each other. So here's the SED. And then here's a way you can do the same thing with Python. You've got a few more characters, but it's a lot, I think, easier to say print and then the string for each of the input there. And then you split it by there and you take the last one. Like I think this is a lot clearer than whatever is going on there. But I don't know, that's just me. And you can do the same thing with head. Dash N, and we can do 2 lines. Oh, it's lowercase. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Anyways, moving on. The escape parentheses in dot star space backslash open paren dot star backslash close paren $sign tells sed to remember that part of the line that is the part between the last space character and the end of the line. So it tells it to remember that part of the line. That's what the escape parentheses right here. That's what that does, is to remember that part of the line. In the example, the part is referenced with \1 and used to replace the entire line. It's clear that most remote hosts try to log in more than once, thus the same domain name repeats itself. To suppress the repeated entries, first they need to be sorted with the command sort, then passed to the command unique. So we've got some, see how these show up multiple times. So you can make that go away. Now delete unique only. Let's look at unique. UNIQ dash help. So see how it filters adjacent matching lines. So it's like, it's not going to filter. It's not going to detect that these are unique here and here because they're not adjacent. So how do you fix that? Well, you sort it, and sorting it makes them all adjacent, and there you go. Now you've got all unique entries. So this adjacentness can be kind of like, you might think like, oh, well, what good is that? I can't, if it's not adjacent, then it can't detect it's a duplicate. Well, it's fine because you just use sort, and now they're all adjacent. So this shows how different commands can be combined to produce the desired outcome. The hostname list can then be used to write blocking firewall rules or to take other measures to enforce the security of the server. Perfect. All right, guided exercise time. Let's take a look at the clock. Perfect. Everything's good. So, guided exercises. The command last shows a listing of last logged in users. So, there we go. LAST. There we go. Looks good to me. Including their origin IPs. So, let's take a look at the origin IPs. It should be all the same IP. Okay, so here's theirs. Now, we do have some interesting results here. We have the PTS line. It looks like the reboot is a user. Yeah, interesting results. This is perfect. So how would the egrep command be used to filter the last output, showing only occurrences of an IP address, discarding any additional information in the corresponding lining? This is the kind of thing that I guarantee you will be on the test. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get that standard output. So you do that with a last there, and it's going to look like that. Then you need to pipe it to another command. We're going to pipe it to the egrep command. The egrep command. And let's review the egrep command quick. So the egrep command is I'm pretty sure it just means extended regular expressions. I don't know what the difference is between egrep and grep. It looks like they're the same. Yeah. So it's the same. It's just standard regular expressions, I believe. So here's what we need to do. We need to pipe that output to egrep. Now we need to make a regular expression to apply to the output. So what we're looking for is IP addresses. So we need a few atoms. Let's try to do it in 2 atoms. So the first atom, we're gonna have a matching group here, and then the match we want is any number 1 through 9, and then we want that 1 through 3 times. There we go. And then we need a dot, and then we want that whole thing to occur exactly 3 times. So we use a bound there, and then we want any number again 1 through 3 times. There we go. So now something happened there. Oh, we have to wrap it in quotes. So that, there we go. So now we've got the matches perfect. And it looks like we don't really have any false positives or anything like that. It looks pretty clean. Okay, so then the next part of the question is we want to discard any additional information in the corresponding line. So numerous ways of doing that. We saw that we could use xargs, and then we could do dash uppercase R, and we can do line, and then we can do Python -c, and now we have the line, so we can do line, and I think this has to be in its own quotes. Dot yeah, so that's one way you can do it, but I don't think they're gonna allow that. I think you have to use SED. So let's try using SED. Let's do a SED help -- help. All right, and the manual page is really the way to do it. So we'll do man SED. All right, so here's the command synopsis. So Yeah, so I think we wanna. So we could do a replacement. Um, let's do a replacement. Um, I'm kind of confused here. All right. Well, I'm a little bit stumped here. I guess maybe what we could do is the thing is like it matches the whole line. So we don't want it to match the whole line. Uh, so we want to do what we just looked at right here, where we did um, this set. So they're using a dash e. So that's defeated a script, and then they are doing a substitution. They're substituting this regular expression here with nothing, and then they have a 1 there. I don't understand that. Okay, so they're definitely doing this. They're just leaving it blank. So the replacement may contain the special character and to refer to that portion of the pattern space when matched. And the special escapes \1, which we do have there, through 9 to refer to corresponding matching sub expressions in the regex. Okay, so I see. So we have this sub expression here with the parentheses. So this says only print out that first sub expression. So I get what to do now. So we have the egroup matches to get the lines we're interested in. And now that we have the lines that we're interested in, we're actually going to need another regular expression from SED. And we can use double quotes, it's fine. And now we need to get the actual. So we can reuse the same regular expression, I think. Yeah. And we need to wrap this whole thing in a matching group. There we go. And now we can do a \1. That's what we're gonna produce. Oh, and we gotta close it. Invalid \1 on S command. That doesn't make sense. Commands RHS. Invalid reference. Maybe try \2. No. So we've got an invalid reference. Okay. I'm kind of confused here. I know that they're going to use a different regular expression than I did to match the IPs. I guess I'm kind of ready to look at the answer. I don't want this to take forever. I know that SED stuff is going to be on the exam, which is unfortunate. Oh, it looks like we can just use a -O. So we didn't even need to use SED. So the -O is only matching. Only show the part of the line matching the pattern. So I guess I could have read that more carefully and noticed that. But the answer is a lot easier than I thought it was. Gotta change it to it. So there's what I had before. That was incorrect because it was showing everything. If you just wanted to print out the matching portion, do a -O, and there you go. That's the answer. All right. So next question: what option should be given to egrep to in order to correctly filter the output generated by command file executed with option -print. So let's do a help on. So we know that it's going to filter the output generated by a command. So we know that it goes to the right of the pipe character, and then we know that the command is find. We know that it has the option print 0. So let's take a look at what that print 0 is. Okay, so find print 0. Let's do a man on it. Sometimes that's a bit better, and we can search. There we go. So now we've got print 0. So if no expression is given, the expression -print is used, but you should probably consider using print 0 instead anyway. I don't see any further information about that. Maybe it's later. Yeah, it's probably later. Let's take a look. Okay, so there's fprint, but we want print 0, not fprint. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I mean, this is some information about print 0, so let's read it. So like print -0, but write to a file. So print -0 will print the full file name on the standard output, followed by a null character instead of the new line character that -print uses. Okay, so yep, so we need the print 0. So we need to do a an option on grep. So let's look at the grep options. So it's now the file names will end with a null character. So maybe it's something associated with that. Yep, so this is it. This is my answer. I'm sticking to it. --null -data. That way you know that the end of the line is not going to result in a false positive of a match. Or a false negative. Alright, so let's see what the real answer is. So what option should be given to grep in order to correctly filter the output generated by the command find executed with the option dash print. So what this does is it generates output, and then the last character in the output is a null character. If you don't include the last character could be a new line character. It could be just about anything. So it's good to include the dash print 0 to make sure it's a null data character, but don't forget to use the option dash z or dash dash null dash data, as in find dot dash print 0 grep dash z expression. So if you didn't include that, then you would be explicitly trying to match a null character, which is not going to work. Or you'd be assuming that there was a new line there, and you'd have false negatives as well. All right, so the next one, command uptime dash s, shows the last date when the system was powered on. So let's see what that is for me. It's probably a while from now. So it was on the... Oh, really? That's interesting. Does it just shut down overnight? When did I don't understand. I don't understand why it was literally yesterday. Yeah, that's surprising. So there we go. What will be the result of... Oh, you know what? I think I know why that's the case. Sometimes my internet is like really flaky, and like rebooting my router helps. So I just flip a power switch on and off, and I think it reboots my router when I do that. Or sorry, my home lab when I do that, which is not a big deal. All right, so there we go. What will be the result of the command uptime dash s, and then this sed string here. So let's take a look at what that dash s option. Okay, so the dash option we see here, dash s option. So that's when the date when it was powered on, and then uptime dash s. So that takes something like this. And then SED-E, which means we're feeding an expression. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the expression here, so we can see the expression is 1, or arguably 2. So yeah, I'd say 2, 3, 4, 5 atoms long. Any character 0 or more times, followed by a space, followed by any character 0 or more times. And then we have these parentheses here. They create matching groups. So what we're going to get is we're going to get just this portion here. So let's try that in my lab. And we get that because we're specifying which matching group. If we change this to 2, then we get just this portion here. So let's try both of them. We got a problem. Invalid reference. What if I try a double quote? Invalid reference. Let's ask the AI about this. Why am I getting CD error? Oh, god damn it. It's meant to be like that. Okay, so God, that's so annoying. So anyway, here's the answer. I accidentally snuck a peek out of it. So an error will occur. By default, parentheses should be escaped to use back references. So let's see what the AI says. It's so annoying.
You're receiving same there because the regular expression pattern you are trying to use with sed is not formulated correctly. You're using parentheses to capture groups, but sed uses and to denote capturing groups. Besides, sed uses basic regular expressions, pre, by default, where you need to escape these characters to denote group capturing. In your expression s, closing parenthesis, opening parenthesis. 1, you're trying to define groups using which is the syntax used in extended regular expressions, ERE. In pre, which is the default mode for set, you need to escape the parentheses like this. Opening parenthesis. You're receiving same there because the regular expression pattern you are trying to use with set is not formulated correctly.
Yeah.
You're using parentheses to capture groups, but set uses...
All right, so I guess I learned my lesson. It's confusing. You have to remember multiple different kinds of syntax, which is so annoying. But everything else I had correct. I just forgot that you need to escape these grouping characters. All right, so the last guided exercise. What option should be given to grep so it counts matching lines instead of displaying them? So let's go to the to here. So we're going to do grep. And I'm guessing it's something like -C. Usually it's pretty intuitive. Yeah, so we're going to go with -C for count. Yep, and the answer is -C. All right, so on to the explorational exercises. Let's close this thing out. So the basic structure of an HTML file starts with the elements HTML, head, and body. For example, describe how addresses could be used in SED to display only the body element and its contents. That's interesting. Let's do this. So we're gonna do a put this into a file. So we'll do t redirect to html.txt, and then we'll paste this in. Okay. Cat html.txt, and then so how addresses could be used. So let's first try to figure out what is an address. So cd help. So the man page is usually is better for SED. Okay, so here's addresses. Okay, so we can have a block of commands. Just one moment, please. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, I'm not sure. So you definitely need so commands which accept address ranges. So all these accept address ranges. So I guess what you could do, so what we're trying to do is to display only the body. So you can do that with a yeah, so I think you can do that with this here. Oh, here we go, addresses. So SED commands can be given with no addresses, in which case the command will be executed for all input lines, with one address, in which case the command will only be executed for input lines which match that address, or with two addresses, in which case the command will be executed for all input lines which match the inclusive range of lines starting from the first address and continuing to the second address. So that's what we want. We want a range of addresses. Three things to note about address ranges. The syntax is address 1, address 2. For example, the addresses are separated by a comma. Okay, so we definitely want that. The line which address 1 matched will always be accepted, even if address 2, oh, that's interesting, selects an earlier line. And if address 2 is a regex, it will not be tested. So, Yeah, so I guess it looks like this. It looks first step. Yeah, so match. Yeah, so the following address types are supported. We can use numbers. We can use regular expressions. We can use we can yeah. So let's use regular expressions. So I think what the syntax is. Um, oh, and then it's a comma. Let's try that. So we're gonna try. Yeah. Okay. So let's try that. So it's gonna be cat HTML pipe said, and then the first regular expression will be this body. Okay, and then a comma for the next one. And then we need to escape this character to not to confuse it. Okay, that oh, we gotta wrap it in quotes. No, we gotta do a dash E. Uh um for R for regular expression. I'm very confused. Okay, so it's got to be a dash E. I just don't think I'm correct here. Maybe it has to be like this. No, we're missing a command. So man SED so is it a Y or what is it? Dash. Oh, it would be a. Oh man, I'm confused. I'm very confused here. Maybe it's a Y. Strings are different lengths. Well, yeah. Um. Okay, so this is pretty tricky. So I mean, I can describe how it could be used. I just can't really write it. So it could be used by doing this bound. So you would do that with this syntax: address 1, address 2. Um, but so and then you have to feed it a an address type, which could be a regex, which is what I tried doing. Yeah, so I guess based on what I read in the manual, this is my answer here, or some variation of it. But we can see that's obviously not the correct answer. Uh, yeah. So this is my answer. Let's and I'm sticking to it even though it's wrong. Let's see what the real answer is. So the real answer is to show yeah, so they did the same thing I did. Oh, you need a P at the end. Why do you need a P at the end? Oh, to print it, to print it, to print. Okay, so I was very close. Oh, but we see it really didn't for some reason it didn't do it right. Okay, so to show only body, the addresses could be, yep, that's what I did. As in SED dash N. So I did do dash N. Let's see what dash N does. So dash N is quiet, so it suppresses automatic printing of pattern space. So maybe that's why I've got those like false positives in there. Yeah, okay, perfect. There we go, and you need the dash E. Yeah, and you need this P at the end. So option dash N is given to SED so that it doesn't print lines by default. Hence the command dash P at the end of SED expression to print matching lines. So you have to feed it a command, and the command that was missing was P. Let's see what the manual page says, and if I could have figured that out from there. Probably not. So let's see if there's a section on commands, because that could be useful. Okay, so here's commands which accept address ranges. Let's see what it says for P. There we go. Print the current pattern space. So I guess we could have figured it out because we saw an error saying there was no command. So we could have gone to the command section of the manual page. There we go, command synopsis. And then we can see the commands which accept address ranges. And we can even do a block of commands. So not only can we print it, we can do multiple things if we use a syntax that looks like this. So now we can also do I think N was a command. Let's put that in there. Okay, well maybe it wasn't. But yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. Yep. Okay, so on to the next one. Want to close this out ASAP. I've only got 2 more to go. What SED expression will remove all tags from an HTML document, keeping only the rendered text? Ooh, that's a good one. So let's think about it. So it's going to be the same thing with the dash N and the dash E. But the regular expression is going to be different. So we're gonna and I think there's like a dash not. Let me see about that. Where there's like a dash V, like a reverse, something like that. I don't see anything. Let's do a man on that. So these are all the options. We can see that there. So these are the commands. So this is what really matters. Okay, so I guess what we could do is we could delete the pattern space. Or we could just print a line that doesn't start with the tag. So that'd probably be the easy way. Oh, you know what? We can't do that because what we want is we want like this We want like this. So all we're doing is removing anything that has opening and closing chevrons. So we need to search through the string, and then we need to delete. So it'd be like, definitely need -n -e, but now we need a regular expression, and then probably print it out. So the regular expression would be like a chevron, then any character 0 more times, and then an end chevron. There we go. So all characters have that. But maybe if we... Nope, that's not right. What about like that? No. No. I guess maybe -z would help with that. Oh, it can't come after the... Man, this is rough. This is gonna be hard on the test. I mean, I guess we could try substituting it with a replacement, and the replacement can be something empty. All right, well, that does it. See, the thing is, it's matching for the whole line. And we're looking for an SED expression. So we want to place it with replaced. Yeah, see, it's not and then see how it's just once per line. It's just matching on those tags, and then it's not matching on the non-tags. So yeah, I think I might have to give up on this one because it's just a hard one. So I think we need to use a command for sure. All right. Yeah, not sure what's going on there. I'm gonna look at the answer. What are we at, the hour mark already? Yeah, we're way past the hour mark, and I blew away 15 minutes at the beginning. But even with that, it's just too long. Oh boy. So yeah, here it is. Oh my god. So the SED expression, that, which now what is the G? Let's see what the G stands for. Oops, and I closed my lab. I did not mean to do that. Open that again. See how easy it is. All right, so then we'll do a man sed, and then we'll go do command or commands. So let's take a look at what the G command does. So the G command will copy / append hold space to pattern space. So I'm not sure what that means. Let's try what I had, but with G instead. Nothing. Oh, and actually I had this. Yeah, okay, nothing. So okay, so this is kind of similar to what I had. So we're substituting anything that matches this pattern for nothing, and then we're using the G command, which I was not aware of. But where I went wrong is I was missing. So I had we're not looking for just any character. We're looking for a class of characters. So we're looking for either we're looking for a character that's not a backtick. Oh, and you know what? This all this does is replaces it in the file, I think. So if we were to cat out HTML dot what? Let's see if I have it correct. So I have s / back chevron caret forward chevron and end bracket. Then I have the parentheses. Is there a nope, it's just okay. Okay, / G. That is really fascinating. Do we need a P as well? What if I do P? Say, okay, AI time. Is this answer correct? Here are the results in my lab. What a world we live in. AIs are absolutely amazing for this sort of thing.
Your set expression s, less than, greater than program is generally a good start for stripping HTML tags from a file to leave only the text between the tags. However, it seems like there are some issues in your attempts. In your attempts, you use the end option with sed, which suppresses automatic printing of the pattern space, meaning sed will not print anything unless you explicitly tell it to.
Oh, okay.
This is why in most of your attempts you didn't see any output. In your final attempt where you saw some output, you used the p flag at the end of your sed script to print the pattern space, but it seems like it printed lines with some residues of tags. This is because the expression s, less than, greater than program doesn't handle tags that span multiple lines very well.
Yeah.
Here's how you can remove all HTML tags and print the remaining text. In this command, we are not using the end option, so sed will print all lines, including those that don't match the regex, and then each line it will replace all matches of the regex with an empty string, effectively deleting all HTML tags.
Yeah.
Remember that this kind of regex-based HTML parsing has its limitations. It won't correctly handle cases where greater than, or less than signs appear in attribute values or text content, among other things. It is generally better to use a proper HTML parser for tasks like this, but for simple cases or quick and dirty scripting, regex can sometimes be good enough.
So what is the actual best way to do this? What do you mean by a HTML parser? Are there any other better ways to do this besides sed? Why not do this with sed? S-E-D. S-E-D. Oops.
A better approach is to use an HTML parser that understands the structure of HTML documents and can extract data in a more reliable way.
Use Python, please.
Here are a few options available to you in various programming languages. Python has several libraries for parsing HTML, such as Beautiful Soup.
Yeah.
Here's how you can use Beautiful Soup to extract all text from an HTML file. Save the script in file, say strip_HTML. py.
Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of questioning the value of this, but let's keep moving. Okay, so let's try the answer that came from the AI. Okay, so now we've got them all stripped out. We can see one of the reasons is we don't have the -n anymore, so everything's printed out. The other big change, you know what? That's the only change that needed to occur. It looks like everything else is exactly the same. All right, so that's my answer. Sticking to it. That's kind of what they have here, but they don't have it's shown that you can't include the -n. All right, so last question. Thank goodness. Files with the extension .ovpn are very popular to configure VPN clients as they contain not only the settings but also the contents of keys and certificates for the client. These keys and certificates are originally in separate files, so they need to be copied in the .ovpn file. Given the following excerpt of an .ovpn template, there we go. Okay, so assuming files .ca.crt, which we have listed here, client.crt right here, client.key, and ta.key are in the current directory, how would the template configuration be modified by sed to replace each file name by its content? Oh, this is so annoying. I know how to do this though. Okay, so we need to use a command, obviously. And we might need to use an option, actually. Yeah, so it's gonna be the -f option. So we got to do sed -f, and then so we got to grep out this file. Then we need to do, or we got to cat out this file. Then do a pipe it to sed, and do a -f, and then feed it the name of the of these. And we can do it. We can do it with like we can do it with a like an ls on these files, or a find for this, and then feed the results of find in there. And then we do a regex. So like we have to do a -e as well, and we pass it a regex to match on. So it would be like any character dot. It would be like any syntax of this dot that, and then ending that way, so we don't false match on there. And then yeah, that's it. So I'll type out an answer. So let's say let's make a directory. We'll say it my ovpn files. Okay, and now let's change directory into it. Okay, and then we'll touch a or let's do this. Let's do t redirect for ca.crt. Say my ca file. Okay, and then we'll do it for client.crt. My client file. Okay, and then client.key. My client key file. Alright, and then ta.key. My ta file. Okay, and then we'll do the excerpt of the let's say excerpt dot .ovpn, and then paste this in. Okay, there we go. So now if we cat out excerpt.ovpn, there we go. If we do a ls, we got that there. So one thing we could do is we can do it like an ls pipe T or pipe X args dash uppercase I and say like files or like file, and then we can do like cat file. There we go. And now we can see them all printed out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to replace in this file here the contents we see down there, each of these with instead the content there. So yeah, so we're going to need to feed the file name into sed -f file, and then we need the expression, which would be it'd be any character 0 more times, and then a dot, and then we need any character, and then we need like a alphanumeric, so we can do A through Z, and then we want it 3 times to make sure that it's not false matching. Okay, and then we have to use the proper syntax. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. So unknown command M. I'm not sure. I guess we could substitute it. That file? Does that? No, that doesn't work. I feel like I'm on the right track. I don't know what the G does. Or F. Extra characters after command M. Okay. So let's do this. So okay, great. Now I'm working on the next problem. Here is what I've got so far. Here is the problem. Now, please, without giving me the answer, walk me through my thought process in trying to solve this problem, and act as a personal tutor to lead me to correct my misunderstanding and lead me to the correct answer.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help guide you. First, let's review what you have tried so far.
Yes.
You've attempted to use setf file to read in the set script from each file. However, this option is for reading set scripts from a file, not for reading the contents of a file to be used in a substitution operation.
Okay.
That's why you're seeing errors such as unknown command. Set is interpreting the contents of your CRDN key files as said commands, which they are not. Next, let's think about the regex you've been trying to use. \A to Z 3. This regex is attempting to match any character 0 or more times, followed by any character, followed by a dot, followed by exactly 3 lowercase letters. This isn't quite what we want. We want to match the specific file names mentioned in the template file, not any string ending with a 3-letter file extension. So, with this understanding, let's try a different approach. Start with identifying the specific lines that contain file names. In your OBPN file, the file names are always on a separate line inside a tag.
Oh, okay.
So we are looking for lines that match the pattern less than tag greater than file name less than tag greater than. Next, we will need to extract the file name from each of these lines and read the contents of that file into a variable. Finally, we will replace the line containing the file name with the contents of the file. For the first step, you might use a set or grep command to extract the lines that contain the file names. Can you try to extract just the file names from your OBPN template file?
Yeah, I'll try
This
it.
will likely involve using a tool to match lines that contain file names and then extracting just the file name part from each line.
Okay, so it's not the F. So it'd be I think what we could do is grep-o. So we could do like cat and then what's the file name again? So cat excerpt pipe grep-o and then I forget what the tag was. So it's yeah, now we can match on the we can do and then or we can do this. Something went wrong there. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, it probably has to be egrep. Yeah, okay. It's an extended regular expression. Okay. There we go. I know what I'm doing. Alright, so there we go. That's my answer.
Great job on extracting the file names using egrep. Now that we have the file names, the next step is to read the contents of these files and replace the file names in the OBPN template file with their respective contents. To achieve this, we'll need to write a script that reads each file name, gets the contents of the corresponding file, and then replaces the file name in the template with that content. Here's a rough outline of how you might go about doing this using a shell script with loop. Loop over each file name you extracted. For each file name, get the content of the file. Use sed to replace the file name in the OBPN file with the content you just read. As a hint for how you might do the second step, you can read the content of a file into a variable in a bash script using $less than file name. You can then use sed to do the replacement, making use of the fact that you can include variables in your sed commands when you use double quotes to define a sed script. Try to write a script following the above outline. Would you like guidance on how to start with writing the script?
No, I got it. Okay, so loop over. Yeah, we do that with the xargs. Each file, get the content of the file. Actually, what we can do is actually we can do the xargs -i cat or -i file cat. There we go. Now we have the content of the file. So now we can pass this to sed with -e. We can do yeah, we can do the same one there. Now I'm not sure how to replace it with with the contents of the file. So I'm going to say this is what I have so far. Not sure where to go from here.
You're off to a good start. You have successfully identified the file names in your OVPN template file and used CAT to print their contents to the terminal. The next step is to replace the file names in the template file with the contents of the respective files. The approach you're trying with piping commands together in a single line is quite compact but will be difficult to achieve what you want because you're losing the association between file names and their contents. To maintain this association, we'll need to read each file name, get its contents, and then replace that file name in the OVPN template with its contents, all within a loop in a script. Here's a general outline using a bash script. Save. This is a script file. Give it execute permissions with chmod plus x script name. Shish, and then run it with script name.
But we're
Shish.
not.
This script is.
Yeah, but we're not learning about bash scripts here. We're learning about SED. SED.
Absolutely. I understand you are focused on using sed to accomplish this. Using a single sed command to do this replacement will be quite complex due to the requirement to insert multi-line content into a file at specific locations based on dynamic file name inputs. However, I do have a suggestion on how you might use sed in a loop in your terminal without creating a bash script file to iteratively make these replacements. Here's the concept. You would loop over each file name, and for each name, you would grab the content of the respective file and store it in a shell variable.
That's horrible.
Then, you would use sed to replace the file name with the content stored in the shell variable.
Alright.
Here's a rough sketch.
Let's look at the answer for this. I'm close, but like, don't do this. Please just use like Python or something. Please don't do this. So this command sed-r-e extended regular expression. Yeah, look at don't do this. Please just don't do this. Yeah, and now we're replaces any line terminating in .crt or .key with the contents of a file whose name equals that line. How are you doing that? Client.template? Where did that come from? Oh, that must have been the name of this excerpt file. Yeah, that must be it. Wow. Okay. And here's the substitution. So here's the. Oh, it's cat, the first and the second matching group. Man. Okay, with content whose file, the file whose name equals the line. Option -R tells sed to use regular expressions, whilst E at the end of the expression tells sed to replace matches with the output of command cat space \1 dot \2. The back references \1 and \2 correspond to the file name and extension found in the match. Yeah, do not do this. Please just use Python. Python will be available. What a nightmare. All right, so I'm gonna ask the okay, so here's the answer. Okay, so here's the answer. What do you think about it? Okay, so here's the answer given by the training materials. What do you think about it?
This solution, given by your training materials, is indeed a neat and effective way to handle the problem using sed. Let's break down the command to understand it more deeply. R. This flag tells sed to use extended regular expressions, which allows it to understand patterns like A, B, without needing to escape the parentheses and pipe character. E. This flag indicates that the following argument is a script that sed should execute. In this case, the script is a substitution command that uses a regular expression to match lines ending with CRT or key in a replacement pattern that constructs a cat command. S caret caret. Closing square bracket closing parenthesis backslash. CRT key $cat1. 2 E. S. Slash. E. This is a sed substitution command with an extra E flag at the end, which tells sed to execute the replacement part as a shell command and use its output as the replacement text.
Yeah.
Caret caret. Closing square bracket closing parenthesis colon. This part of the regular expression matches the start of line followed by any number of characters that are not a dot to capture the file name without extension and stores it as a group references one later. This solution given by your training materials is indeed a neat and effective way to handle the problem using sed. Let's break down the command to understand it more deeply. R. This flag tells sed to use extended regular expressions, which allows it to understand patterns like A, B, without needing to escape the parentheses and pipe character. E. This flag indicates that the following argument is a script that sed should execute. In this case, the script is a substitution command that uses a regular expression to match lines ending with CRD or key in a replacement pattern that constructs a cat command. S caret caret. Closing square bracket closing parenthesis backslash. CRD key $cat1 2 ES slash E. This is a said substitution command with an extra E flag at the end, which tells said to execute the replacement part as a shell command and use its output as the replacement text. Caret caret. This part of the regular expression matches the start of line followed by any number of characters that are not a dot to capture the file name without extension and stores it as a group references one later. Backslash. CRD key $. This part matches a dot followed by either CRD or key at the end of line and stores a matched extension as a group references to later. Cat1 2. This is the replacement pattern which uses the captured groups to construct a cat command that will display the content of the matched file. Less than client. Template greater than client. OVPN. This part redirects the input from client. Template to set and the output from said to client. OVPN. So, this command reads from client. Template finds lines ending with CRD or key, constructs a cat command for each such line to get the content of the corresponding file and replaces the line with the file content. It then writes the modified content to client. OVPN. Overall, it is an excellent solution using said's ability to execute shell commands from the replacement part of a substitution command, which isn't a very commonly used feature but is very powerful in scenarios like this. It's quite a clever approach.
Do you recommend using approaches like these, or are they too esoteric?
Using approaches like the one in your training material can indeed be quite powerful and allow you to perform complex operations in a single command. However, whether or not to use such techniques generally depends on a few factors. Pros. Efficiency. It allows for very concise and efficient scripting, potentially replacing several lines of a more straightforward script with a single command. Learning opportunity. Mastering such techniques can deepen your understanding of said and other command line tools, enhancing your skill set significantly. Cons. Readability and maintenance. Such commands can be quite esoteric and therefore difficult to read and maintain.
Yes.
Someone else looking at your script, or even you, after some time has passed, might struggle to understand what it's doing. Error handling. It can be challenging to handle errors properly using a single complex command. If something goes wrong, e.g. one of the files to be catted doesn't exist, it might not be immediately clear what the issue is, making debugging more challenging. Portability. Not all said versions support the E flag for executing shell commands from the replacement part of a substitution. This means that your script might not work on all systems. Recommendation. Simple scripts for routine tasks. For routine tasks and scripts that might be maintained by others, sticking to simpler, more straightforward approaches is generally better. It makes the script more readable and maintainable, and it's easier to handle errors properly. Complex commands for one-off tasks and learning. If you're performing a one-off task or you're writing a script for your use, and you're interested in learning and mastering SET, then using such complex commands can be a good choice. It allows you to leverage the full power of SET and can be quite satisfying. In conclusion, while it is a powerful technique, it's perhaps best reserved for situations where its benefits, conciseness and efficiency, outweigh its drawbacks, potential maintenance difficulties, portability issues.
Yeah.
It might not be the best choice for a script intended to be used and maintained by a team, especially if not everyone on the team is familiar with advanced SET usage.
Alright, so pick the absolute best way to do this and print out the method that you picked.
B. Absolute best way can vary depending on your specific requirements, constraints, and the environment in which you're working.
Yeah.
However, considering factors like readability, maintainability, and error handling, I'd recommend using a scripting language like Bash or Python to accomplish this task.
Yeah.
These languages offer good readability and robust error handling mechanisms, making it easier to maintain and debug your script. Here's a Bash script approach that reads the template file line by line and replaces lines that contain a file name with the contents of the corresponding file.
Yep.
Save the above. Script is a shish file and run it with Bash. This script reads the excerpt. OVPN file line by line. Checks if line contains a file name with CRD or.
And then if you use Bash, that's better for portability too. You don't have to worry about there being Python on the system, especially with like the difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So yeah, I agree with this. I would say use Bash instead of Python. So what a world we live in where the AI is like actually smart. Okay, so that's it for the exercises. So the last section is the summary. This lesson covers the two most important Linux commands relating to regular expressions, grep and sed. Scripts and compound commands rely on grep and sed to perform a wide range of text filtering and parsing tasks. The lesson goes through the following steps: how to use grep and its variations, such as egrep and fgrep. I forget what fgrep is. Let's take a look at it. I think it's file grep. I think it's searching through the context of a file. It's so annoying that it doesn't. Okay. Hopefully the man page is usually a bit better. Let's search for fgrep. Oh, no, it's not. That's annoying. Oh, okay. So it's the same as dash uppercase F. So fixed string. So interpret a pattern as a list of fixed strings instead of regular expressions. Okay, perfect. So how to use SED and its internal instructions to manipulate text, and then examples of regular expression applications to grep and SED. All right, so making lots of progress here. Onto the very last part of the second to last topic for this first exam. So we're not even halfway there, and we haven't even passed a single test yet, and we got 2 of them to pass. But anyway, happy with the progress so far. So stay tuned for the next video.